Well, this is the hottest pop culture stories of the day. This is Hot to Go, and I'm Brittany.
I'm Kendall.
And I'm Mike.
And if you're watching on YouTube, that was Bradley Traynor of Blinded by the Item.
He always forgets 45 items, and I think he just has a crush on me.
Thanks, Bradley, for showing up.
Okay, we got to talk about that. We don't know anything. What do we know at this point? We're fools. Katy Perry, as we know, went up to Blue Origin. We had a lull about it. I mean, it's fine. We like that you did it. We don't really have that many negative opinions, except that you went for a glorified amusement park ride, and that's fine. Mm-hmm. But we're dumb because she's actually saw a big bump in her streaming because of it. Spotify announced that she went from the 142 spot from her song Last Friday Night. Got a big old bump.
Last Friday Night was the song?
Isn't that wild?
Last Friday Night. Okay, this has got to be over a decade old, too.
Yeah, it's old. It's 2011.
I'm shocked it wasn't any of her new albums.
You know, it's a woman's world, and she's lucky to be. She wasn't for a little bit. She was not living in our world for 11 minutes.
But it was all women on the flight, so it is a women's world.
Yeah, it's their world up there, too, I guess. Mm-hmm. You're right.
Okay, I'm curious, and I don't know if those numbers are on there. Is this domestically or is this internationally?
I mean, it's just
her song went up. Does it say specifically?
It says global.
Global.
List,
okay.
Yep.
That makes a little bit more sense. I think globally, the Blue Origin flight, just in like the cultural zeitgeist globally, is probably different than maybe it is here.
And it's something that's almost, I mean, they talk about this happening with the Super Bowl. Mm-hmm. It's just a reminder of this person, and it seeps in your brain, and you get in your car and you go to put a song on and you're like, oh, I haven't listened to Katy Perry in a while. So if this is her number one song on Spotify, and they search Katy Perry on her, they would end up clicking that, and that would go up, and that would be a natural progression of how this happens.
It's almost like she has a tour coming up in a week.
Yeah,
use this as a way to get those streams up and sell some tickets, because Lord knows they're available.
Sorry, dolls, we're going.
I know.
Are we actually?
I'm kind of in.
I'm super in.
I'm not opposed, but how are we going? I'm not paying for it.
Yeah, no. We're going to figure that out. We're going to figure that out. No.
So,
we've accepted their privilege, we want to accept our privilege. We just need to have privilege first.
I'm going to walk into the Target Center with little Daisy, and then I'm going to kiss the floor as I walk in and just be so grateful that I'm in the Target Center to watch Katy Perry.
I love this. And I'm going to run around like Elon Musk and fall, bite it hard.
Or Jeff Bezos.
Jeff Bezos.
Yeah. Same thing.
Same thing.
I'm going to make the Gale face.
Nice.
Yeah.
That has probably been the best thing to have come out of Blue Origin is Gayle King's landing face.
Yeah.
When she came out, and it was questioning everything she'd ever done in life.
I love that.
Did I just fart or poop? That's what her face looked like.
It was unsure. And I also like when she chastised us for not being as inspired as the 4 people that reached out to her as well.
Okay, Gayle King.
I like getting yelled at by the teacher. I think it unites us all.
I'm so sorry that I didn't understand your privilege and how it was making space more accessible for the rest of us somehow.
I didn't know that there was experiments in that 11 minutes. All the experiments that are happening.
Yeah, to remove global waste and put trash in space.
I didn't realize that. My bad. Didn't
realize it.
That's on us, Gayle. Uneducated.
God, it just looked like such a weird performative stunt. I can't believe we got it so wrong.
And again, more power to you. Go up, come down. Mm-hmm. Don't make me feel like I don't understand it. I do.
We do.
Don't act like you trained either. I just can't with this. You sat there. That's great. And that's great.
It's great.
It's great for you.
This is not be talked down to. It's a capitalist society. Do what you want with your money. But let's not pretend it was because, it was to inspire the rest of us to go to space. Because we're not gonna.
No, Gail. Again, it might as well be Bora Bora. I'm also happy when you get to vacation in Bora Bora.
Yes.
It's not going to be me. And I love that for you.
We love when you can shop at Tiffany's.
We love that.
At the Galleria here in Edina.
Congrats.
Can't do that either. So.
Yeah, you could. I mean, you just have to change your priorities a little.
I just have to change my life a little. I walk in and they just they would give me the up and the down. I'd go, I know, I should just go.
My sister worked there.
She did?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, she's got a pool.
She's got a pool.
She got a pool, and she lives in a cool neighborhood. I'm going to give it to her. Yep, she worked there.
Good job, Lynn.
It's cool.
Thanks for being a successful sister.
It checks out. Brittany and I sometimes get invited to the pool, but still not to Tiffany's.
True.
Casey Musgraves might just die of horniness. Yep, You heard that. Miss Musgraves posted the other night, is it possible to die of horniness? Asking for a friend. About 5 million views later, 54,000 likes and 5,000 reposts. People were like, did you forget to switch accounts? Like, was this supposed to be on your main feed, girl? But if you know anything about Casey Musgraves, yeah, it was probably supposed to be on her main feed.
Yeah.
The Country Swooner. You would know any of her songs. She's got a very specific sound. She was married until the pandemic. And then she said, listen, it was very clear to me during the pandemic that my husband and I really shouldn't have gotten married. And then she went out and dated. She said publicly that she dated a guy on and off for a while who at first didn't know who she was, which she thought was really attractive. But since then, she's like, she hasn't really been dating. And I got to imagine living around Nashville, being a major country singer with a very distinct look. It's probably hard to go unnoticed, you know what I mean? To go unnoticed or to know if somebody wants to have sex with you because you're Casey Musgraves or just to have sex.
And just like, you have to ask about the power dynamic, especially everybody there is trying to make it in the music world. There's so many things where you go, she doesn't have the luxury of hooking up.
No, or like going on a dating app.
No.
You're right. You know, like, I'm like, Casey, get a vibrator. Casey Musgraves, you have so much money and access. Get a really nice vibrator.
But like maybe she just like is throwing it on like the public or like also human interaction. You know, maybe horniness is code for I haven't been touched by a man in a long time. Asking for a friend as well.
It's like you asking for a friend.
Things got a little dark over here.
I am curious, as our medical staff on staff, Brittany.
Yeah.
Is it possible to die of horniness?
Yeah. People don't talk about it enough.
We lose. Did you do that in nursing school?
Yeah, we lose at 0.3 people a year to horniness. Yeah, because it's 3 every 3 years. Or no, it's 1 every 3 years. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So
pouring out for the homies.
I'll probably do a 5K for it this summer.
I can imagine though.
I mean, we got told all the time when we'd make out with boys, it'd be like, "Oh, you're giving me blue balls." And I always thought they were like dying. I mean, the way that I'd respond would be like, "Oh God, we need to it's like snake venom.
We got to do something for them. They're dying. These poor men. They're dying."
And that gives you a little insight into my high school career.
She was very giving.
Thank you.
I went, sounds painful. Oh, look at the time.
Gotta go.
I feel good.
I love that for you.
And that just shows you our characters in a nutshell.
Okay, speaking of Amanda Bynes, she said, I'm going to join OnlyFans. Cool. But she said, don't worry, I'm not going to do any of those, or I'm not going to be posting any sleazy content. And to that I say, then what are you doing on OnlyFans? Like, it blows my mind. This happened a lot in 2020 and 2021 when people say, well, I'm just posting normal pictures. Well, why would people pay for that then? And I don't mean it in like you have to be, like sleazy is not the word I want to use. I just think if you would like to sell something that they have exclusive access to, what are you showing that's exclusive access? As just a business lady that we all know I am.
I will say there are lots of people who have OnlyFans that do nothing sexual at all.
And I don't mean sexual, but
or sleazy, quote. I mean, there's people who have cooking channels. Like, you can learn how to cook because of your OnlyFans channel. Like,
I know they tried to pivot OnlyFans for that.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's working for them. Because there's also the, what is it? Patreon.
Yep.
Yeah, Patreon, I feel like you can lean towards, has more of like you can just paying for extra stuff. Like if we had a podcast, we could sell behind the scenes stuff.
I think that still exists on OnlyFans, and it's actually a huge chunk of it. But OnlyFans is so big because of the sexual stuff, because of the adult content, that it gets lost in the shuffle. But I still think a big percentage of it is the non-sexual stuff.
Rebecca Minkoff had an OnlyFans. Did you know this?
Mm-mm.
Isn't that interesting to you? Rebecca Minkoff of the new Real Housewives of New York friend, but mostly she said that she opened, like what Mike is saying.
Yeah,
she opened an OnlyFans just because of her fashion business. She's like, for us, it was this new, I was willing to try anything to communicate with our fans and to like show them what our new products were. And she goes, and at the time they were trying to pivot and not be just like the sexy thing that they were known for. She goes, they didn't pivot as quickly as they thought they would, so we eventually pulled it.
Yeah.
But it's like, I guess it's true.
I mean, in theory, yes. So what is Amanda Bynes going to be selling then? And maybe because she does do nail art, she does do makeup. I think she's went to school for had like a fashion degree or something. But I just say, like, if you're going to be put out there, like, she's obviously, people use her to make money, you might as well just make it off yourself.
I'm just looking here. I found some stats. It looks like about 70 to 75% is adult content. 25%, which is a huge chunk considering what they make, is fitness, fashion, like you said, nails, food, lots of other things like that.
And I remember OnlyFans was really trying to, like, 'cause they grabbed onto a bunch of Bravo celebrities. Use that term very loosely. I know that.
Bravo celebrity.
Yeah, they grabbed onto a bunch of these Bravo stars saying, please, and then they would be on Watch What Happens Live. So please join OnlyFans. And they would be on Watch What Happens Live, and they would make sure to say that exact rhetoric of, hey, just so you know, OnlyFans isn't just sex stuff. Now, most of those people who open those either closed their accounts or eventually did more sexual things.
Right. Yeah, $50 a month. It sounds like it's just going to be being able to DM her.
All right.
And she did do an art exhibit or an art show last December. I didn't realize this, but pop-up art show. Miley's little sister Noah was there.
Yeah, she's got an arts degree and sounds like very talented in that realm of things. She did try to do a podcast. It didn't go well. They had one episode.
Yeah, I think I listened to some of it. She barely talked in it.
She barely spoke in it. It was the person who hosted it did almost all the talking, and that's when. Was there like a weird DM to Drake at that same time?
Yeah.
And then that kind of everything just kind of fell out right after that. She didn't stick with it.
I do wish her well. And like, maybe this is just a way where she might as well get paid to have people have access to her, right? Like messages and stuff like that. And like, I guess I'm coming from a place of, I don't think doing sexual stuff on OnlyFans is that bad necessarily. Sure. Like,
right. Make your money how you want to make your money.
And so I don't see it as like sleazy's the wrong word. But if 25% of OnlyFans is just more access to celebrities or more access to whatever content you want, that's enthralling to me.
I just want Amanda Bynes to do whatever Amanda Bynes wants to do.
Absolutely.
She's the man. What a Girl Wants, Sydney White, Hairspray. These were like some of the movies that made me, like our generation, like the millennial love for Amanda Bynes from that period of like early 2000, like 1999 through about 2010. The decade. She owned that decade.
And like, let's be clear, from what we know now about childhood stars and especially the Nickelodeon brand, like you just go, it's such an equation for disaster. So any happiness or whatever route she can get to being able to pay for her lifestyle or whatever her life she wants, it'd be amazing.
I'd pay $50 just to listen to her rip Dan Snyder apart. That would be great.
Hell yeah.
Please do that.
Please. If anybody could.
Yeah.
Amanda Bynes.
Be her.
Do it. Justin Bieber. The title of the article in the Hollywood Reporter is Justin Bieber's Crisis of Faith, a bitter management shakeup, angry public outbursts, a narcissistic pastor whose word is gospel. What in God's name is happening to the once mighty pop icon? Whatever he's going through, I pray for him, a longtime collaborator says. That's just the intro to this massive article by the Hollywood Reporter. I read through the whole thing. I turned around in our chairs and looked at Brittany and said, that was worth the read. That was pretty good.
Yeah, you're excited.
So here's I'm going to get it all in a nutshell for you. And if you're watching this on YouTube, make sure to comment, see what you think. Otherwise, check us out on My Talk 1071, our show page. We'll put the link to this article there so you can read it directly. But what it all comes down to is this. If you've noticed in the last year, Justin Bieber has been in the headlines a lot. We've covered so much of this. He's been smoking like giant bongs on his Instagram. He's been dancing oddly in public. He canceled his world tour. There's just some things that have happened that you okay, Beeps? Like, you doing okay? And this article doesn't give an opinion. It does the job of interviewing all these people and kind of putting the timeline into place of Justin Bieber within the last year got rid of 3 very important people that have influenced his career. We know about Scooter Braun. He was the one that with Usher brought Bieber from YouTube videos into the Bieber that we know now. They very publicly broke up, but he'd been a part of his life for the past couple of decades, his entire music career up to this point. He also got rid of a security guard who had worked with him his whole career as well, that according to insiders that they spoke to in this article, had really protected him from a lot of the really dark things that could have happened to him.
And so these are really big red flags when you're getting close to, are you getting rid of anyone close to you who's been up through your, you know, especially most of your career.
Yes.
That's a scary thing.
Yes. And he got rid of one other really important PR person that had been in his life, sort of this like deputy that had really been a part of his life. Her name was Allison Kay. So somebody who had just kind of helped like run the public discourse around him specifically. Like if he did get into trouble, like when he got, was it in Miami that he got a DUI?
Oh, yeah.
This was years ago, like in 2014. She was one of those people that kind of led the, hey, let's really push into all the things Justin does do, like how he donates $1 off every ticket sold to charity, how he is a top person requested from the Make-A-Wish Foundation. Like she's really protected him from a lot of the crap that could have been said about him in the media. And then finally, I guess the fourth person would be a really good friend of his. He was the best man at Justin and Hailey's wedding. All these people really since in the last 6 months, he has gotten rid of and instead put a lot of his faith into his pastor for this mega church that he belongs to out in LA. This same pastor is now kind of helping shape new parts of what his music career will look like. And that is where a lot of people go, that doesn't seem right.
Yeah,
like
seems suspicious.
Yeah, someone of faith that you're looking to for spiritual guidance is now guiding potentially your actual career too.
It'd be one thing if it was a percentage of your attention, but you're giving them all of your, like, you don't have other voices in your ears anymore. You're not going to your normal counsel. You've lost all your normal counsel. Like this, we've talked about this in a lot of abusive relationships, and we're not saying this is one.
No.
But you would get rid of anybody else who would differ from your opinion. And that's kind of what it feels like.
And a couple people in this article questioned, like, did this team of people that he's now gotten rid of almost protect him too much to the point of like it was detrimental for his personal growth?
Yeah, I could see that. I mean, that makes sense why he's like public facing. He's probably the same person, but public facing, we're seeing a lot more.
And like this article does a good job of basically saying like they have done this, but also like it wasn't always like out of the good of their heart that they were protecting his image. They were protecting their wallets.
Yeah,
too.
of course. I mean, I'm not going to act like it's an altruistic act to help your boss.
Right.
And to have a big machine that is Justin Bieber. I mean, that's many jobs.
So between this management thing happening, it was really 3 things. It was all these people get fired. Number 2, we remember how he publicly ended the Justice World Tour. It had been postponed for a long time because of the pandemic. Then he started the tour and then he had the facial paralysis that really stopped him from performing that medical issue, which was very legitimate. And then after he stopped in Brazil, he made this announcement like, listen, I am exhausted. I can't do this. I'm so sorry. Like, I need to rest. I need to get better. And insiders in the story basically said, like, he just was overwhelmed. Like, he really did need a minute. He wanted to be home with his wife. He wanted to start talking about having a baby.
Yeah.
And, like, it was doing things to his health, not being there for him. It was just too demanding. So those 2 things happened. And the third being that he sold the rights to all of his music made from 2022 and before. So that's over a decade of music. Every song you've ever heard of Justin Bieber's, instead of a lot of it, he didn't have full rights to. So he would be just like a one of 17 collaborators on a song. So in his mind, he's like, I don't want to just get little checks in the mail every month, right? Like because of people downloading things on Spotify, whatever that might mean for him.
Yeah.
I want this giant chunk of change like we've seen a lot of artists do, most of them at the end of their career.
Yeah.
He got $200 million deal. What we are learning is that his old management team that he just fired thought it was going to sell for about $140 million. They got it up to the $200 million mark for him. But we're really not happy with the deal in general. They didn't think he should be doing this.
Oh, okay.
Because he's still really young. They're like, you shouldn't be selling away your rights. But he's like, So it's like this collection of sells the deals, owes a lot of money to this tour group that he canceled his tour early for, allegedly about $20 million that he still owes. And he fires all these people or they leave.
Yeah.
And so now you go, where does Justin Bieber go?
Yeah.
He's still down because of the new negotiations he made with his new record label. He does have to come out with a couple of albums soon. They're not really publicly commenting on it, but basically like he's an artist, but he does owe us music.
Interesting.
We'll see what all this pressure, all this stress does to him. It seems like he's really leaning on this pastor.
Yeah.
Which when you lean on one person,
it's scary. I mean,
it's a little tough.
Yeah, that's a lot of control. Well, thanks so much, Kendall, for reading that.
Yeah.
That's enthralling.
Like his life is roller coaster.
Now we have to head back to Minnesota for Love is Blind talk. Mike, you have an update.
I want to set this all up. I want to do this update here. And let's begin with this. You remember from Love is Blind this last season, there was a love triangle. It was between Meg, Mason, and Madison. And we found out during the reunion that Mason and Meg were actually super close. They were friends.
Yeah.
Then we found out that they had been friends for like this entire year. And then after the reunion, sounds like they became more than friends.
Yeah.
They did try it again because they tried to be a couple. Didn't work out. They tried it again, and now it's working. And they recently joined a podcast called the Dear Shandy Podcast. And I want to play a clip from it because this is very important. Here you go. Here's that clip.
So truthfully, I only went on one date this past year, and it was after we broke up the first time. And I'm like, all right, I need to start moving on. I need to let go of this experience. I go on Hinge. The first Hinge date I go on was actually the guy who Lauren was a part of Lauren's storyline, the entire show.
No.
Yes. Yes. Like the Lauren Dave guy.
The guy.
The Lauren Dave guy.
The hookup guy.
The hookup.
How small is Minneapolis?
So we're going to stop right there because I played that clip for Brittany and Kendall, and Brittany right away was like, Minneapolis isn't even that small. I don't even get that. That doesn't make sense. Why would he say that? Now, you may remember Lauren and Dave, of course, had the big storyline where Dave essentially listened to his friends, listened to his family, and decided that Lauren hooked up with this guy right before the show started, and she shouldn't have done that. And how could they be together? They had a bigger thing going. Then I bring up the individual's name after doing some digging. And the same person who said, Minneapolis isn't that small. Brittany, what'd you tell me?
I went to high school with that kid.
What? So the guy from Love is Blind that we talked about all year long, that hooked up with Lauren right before they went on to Love is Blind, you went to high school with.
I went to high school with, ended up talking on the phone with just now, right up to the show.
Yeah.
We might have to save this for the next segment because
Okay, give us like a tease for the YouTubers.
I'm telling you this. I think that this person got played. The person I went to high school with.
Ooh.
You think he's a victim?
I think he's a victim. I think he got played like a fiddle. And I think I cannot stress enough. We're going to call this guy.
Why can't we say his name?
We can because it's everywhere,
What's
right?
his name?
His name is Dan. Let's just call him Dan.
I'm like, what's his name? Is it Dave? Dan? I can't remember what his name was. Dan.
His name is Dan.
Okay, well, I've seen Dan's Instagram. I don't think he's that much of a victim.
I will say this. If he wanted to have been on the show, he could have. So why didn't he?
Where's the proof?
What do you mean? They
I
were
don't
staying
know.
in the same apartment building he lives in, which was a coincidence. But don't you think the producers were chomping at the bit to get Dan on the show?
Oh, you mean like not as a contestant, but as like he shows up at some event.
There was barely any drama this season. The only drama we had was this mystery man, and the fact that he was in the building. You don't think the producers were clawing at him to try to get him on?
Okay,
we need
If
more.
you are watching on YouTube, so sorry, you're going to have to listen to the podcast. It'll be the first hour of the Brittany and Kendall podcast. Spotify, Apple, My Talk, our app. Because Brittany's going to tell us about this phone call.
Yes. I can't wait to tell you about it. I changed my perspective completely.
Active listeners, you're welcome. You're getting it after the commercial.